Hello everybody, welcome to another vlog, and this time I'm going to be doing some of this while I'm talking. Today is the 23rd of January and it is the first day of the evening curfew, in the Netherlands anyway. So apparently starting 9 o'clock this evening, you're not allowed to leave the house unless you have to walk the dog or you have to go to work or you're some other type of special person that is allowed to leave. And a lot of people, of course, don't really like that. We're going to have to see how effective it is, because I think this is actually going to cause more people to go out around 8 o'clock in the evening thinking they can still go and grab some groceries, and then it's going to get extra busy and stuff like that. So I think it may only end up hurting the progress rather than helping it, but we'll see. I think this might help. So anyway, so I'm doing my crafting thing over here because I also wanted to kind of talk about the economy as it stands. Of course, a lot of countries have had their economy take a hit because people are out of jobs, businesses are failing because they have to stay closed. I think I said that last time as well. I'm not really sure if I did. But you know, the whole thing with we've got these businesses that have invested a whole bunch of money over the last year, in all sorts of extra regulations to try and make it possible for the customers to actually go and come into their store or come up to their store and shop there. And then as soon as they were done paying for all these extra remodeling things, they had to close again in a lot of places. And now it's like, oh, we're going to close a bit longer. Oh, we're going to close a bit longer, you guys. No, we're going to close a bit longer. Hang in there. Of course, the resources that they had, all the savings that they may have had, are probably dwindling down to nothing. Some of them may have already been in debt beforehand, because there are a lot of businesses that were kind of struggling anyway. So we're going to see a lot of bankruptcies. At the same time, in certain places, like notably in the US, they're trying to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, which is only going to get more people fired, because I don't know how people think that will work, because it's not like the boss that you have that was previously paying you, I don't know what the minimum wage is right now, they're paying you that. It's not like they have a whole bunch of money sitting aside just in case somebody wants more money. A lot of businesses run on a very tight shall I say, budgets, and $15 an hour doesn't sound like much, but if you're the one who has to pay it, it's really a lot. So a lot of businesses are going to have to lay people off, and some people say, oh, we're going to have to combine two jobs into one, so we're going to fire employee B and have employee A do all these two jobs together. That might occur in a few places, but I think really it's going to push robotics and stuff like that into the workplace, and eventually you're not going to have any minimum wage jobs anymore, because there have been so many price hikes and things like that that the people who run the businesses find it much better a long-term investment to get robotics or some type of AI or whatever involved. AI in particular, not necessarily, but you know, like if you go to a certain website, you'll have these chatbots, that type of thing. They can link you to all kinds of help pages that you might want, and if you really can't figure it out with them, then you can call somebody, and probably the call center will be somewhere completely else because it'll be cheaper to put the call center there. That's how they kind of take jobs away from people. So that means if they do manage to raise the minimum wage, we're going to see a lot of people being unemployed, and we're going to see a lot of businesses who may not want to fire their workers go bankrupt again. Only the really big ones, I think, will survive, or some type of business that somehow is now making a lot more money, like anything that has food delivery. I'm pretty sure is doing really well, because a lot of people have been ordering stuff from home. Earlier I was thinking, oh, the curfew is going in this evening, and maybe I want to go to the grocery store to grab a few things, and then I thought, no, wait, actually that's exactly what will cause the problem, so probably I'll be ordering in later as well. And the reason why I'm doing this right now, instead of just being on camera as per usual, is because I think with the current situation, we might be heading into another Great Depression type era, or at least some type of great economic slump. And it's probably good to have some type of skill that you could use, maybe just for yourself. Like probably won't be selling this scarf, but at least I'll have a scarf to wear in case I can't go to the store to buy a new one. Or you could maybe I don't know, learn to repair things, or whatever it is that you like to do. Try to make that into a skill that you could potentially market somehow, or maybe trade with somebody with. Like if you're good at fixing things and this other person is really good at baking bread or something, They could bake your bread for you to fix their lamp or something, whatever it is. Just that you have some type of skill on hand that you could potentially survive with. Of course, it's always good to have something on hand beforehand, so you don't immediately have to go into the trade sector, but just like have something that you can trade with, have some skills, have some knowledge. I think the World Health Organization or something like that advises people that they have at least a week of food available in their house, and I don't think a lot of people do. So if you don't have that, you might want to start a little pantry somewhere with some dried goods. You can always grab some of that if need be. I think we're heading into some economic times that are not going to be great. Also, if you're living in a house that you bought at a mortgage that you could now kind of afford, maybe you want to not do that. So maybe you want to go someplace cheaper, because I think that with a lot of economic upset, I think the interest rates are going to rise, because I think we saw that as well back in the Great Depression. It's probably a good idea to go look up some documentaries about the Great Depression anyway. Not to alarm anybody, but it's more like in the sense of so we know what could potentially hit us, and that's probably the worst case scenario, but there could be any type of scenario coming up next. In any case, I don't think we're going to see a lot of prosperity anytime soon. So just in spirit of being aware and perhaps also a little bit more prepared than the average person, make sure to not live in a place that's too expensive. You can still afford the rent or the mortgage if the prices go up a considerable amount. No idea how far it's going to go up. So if you're thinking about moving right now, first of all, the prices here in the Netherlands are ridiculous for houses right now. The house that I'm currently in cost me $122,500. For a 2-bedroom apartment. It does actually have a attic, so I do have extra space than most apartments here, so that's good. But right now, it probably won't even come close to that price. It'll probably be 175 or maybe even 200 in certain places. I don't know, because people are going crazy trying to buy a house, but this is the worst time to buy a house. If you want to buy a house, you gotta wait for the market to slump a little bit, and that's why I think a lot of people are also currently doing a lot of home remodeling. You'll see people trying to, fix things around their house. Like, okay, if we can't move, we'll just do that. Might also be good. I don't know. I personally don't need to do any of that. The only thing that I guess we could use here is a solid staircase into the attic. Because right now it's one of those wooden things. But since it's not that big of a deal, I'm not going to spend the however many dollars or euros that would be to remodel it. Just so I can walk up and down a little easier. I don't mind that little wooden staircase, but it would be more of a selling point. I think that might also be a reason why people are doing that to their houses, so they have more of a selling point. If they do want to sell once they are able to move on to something else, well, that's their business. I'm just going to stay put. I'm also in a fairly good location. Make sure to look at your location, because one of the things that happened during the Great Depression is that people moved out of the cities so they could be near some land that they could potentially grow some veggies on or something. And if you are kind of near land, that's already a good thing. It doesn't have to be too close, of course. Like we have a patch of land next to the building here that is already designated as what they call a food forest. So that's already quite positive, meaning that they went in there, I think 2 or 3 years ago, and there was this day where they planted a whole bunch of fruit trees and stuff like that. So there's already that going on. So I'm pretty sure that if we started to look for land that we could start growing vegetables on, we'd probably end up doing that on that land, and it's right next to the building. So for me, that's very convenient. I am, of course, looking into potentially growing stuff on the balcony. I don't have a huge balcony, but it is possible to get one of those 1 by 1 meter boxes that you could start growing some stuff in. So probably I want to go and get me some of that. I don't think the garden centers are open right now. Otherwise, I could have gone to get one and then potentially start with that, and hopefully also do it right, because I'm not a great farmer, I gotta say. I've tried to grow things before, and occasionally I'll try to have a plant in the house, but it's not a great success with me. But maybe I'll start learning that type of thing, just to be able to grow some extra food every now and then, some fresh veggies or some fresh fruits. Probably a good idea. Yeah, I think I'm being too enthusiastic with this here row. I think we have 8 already. Let me check this real quick, because I have a pattern here for the mint color and the blue color. As you can see, I have to make sure to keep those rows even. So let me just check again to be absolutely sure. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so now I need to switch to the next color, which is mint. here it is. So let's just quickly do that. We're going to take a good amount of yarn here. On to the next color. See, we've got this nice teal one coming up now. So yeah, definitely check your situation to see if you would be okay in case prices rise. And if you are not allowed to or able to go to stores to buy stuff, not just because the stores are closed, perhaps the stores are also going to run out of stock for certain things. I'd grab a few extra tubes of toothpaste next time you go to the store, some shampoo or whatever. Just a few things, just so we have a little bit to fall back on in case we hit a rough patch. That's the basic idea. And also maybe look up a few documentaries. I think I already said that earlier, because even though we might not get the exact same situation, you will see how people handled it back in the day, and you might be able to learn something from that to your own advantage. Okay, so I'm going to continue with this, and you know, some hobbies that you already have might turn out to be very useful at some point, who knows. And hopefully you're having a good time regardless of what's happening. We're going to see how the curfew plays out, because I already saw a few videos of young folks saying that they weren't going to honor it because they just want to go out and have fun, because, you know, the going out crowd doesn't really want to be stopped. We'll see how that goes. And I'm just going to go sit and wait and see what happens. Tomorrow we'll probably have a lot of interesting news to read about that, and who knows what's going to happen. Either way, make sure to stay healthy and stay safe. Thanks for watching, and bye bye for now.